I'm Super Fizz, and I'm really excited today to spend some time with you. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Ether. I have a bunch of great friends here and some people I'm just getting to know. But just in terms of introduction, Guardians of the Ether is a new NFT project developed by Kendall and Leo Glisick, along with GLC Staked, and maybe a crew of people. And the idea of this NFT project is to identify solo home stakers and provide them with an NFT that can show their kind of staking credential. And the big picture being that this can add governance and legitimacy to people who are solo and home stakers. With me today, actually, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. So we're going to do the popcorn style. I'm going to go to my dear friend Nixo.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nixo. I am part of eStaker. I help do whatever I can to make sure that there are continuing solo stakers on the network and new solo stakers on the network, because solo stakers are the backbone of the Ethereum network and they are what provide the most censorship resistance. And I fully believe that if Ethereum doesn't have any solo stakers, there's no point to Ethereum. Should I pick someone else?
Yeah, that's popcorn.
JT.
Hey, how's it going? JT here, ETH Finance moderator, longtime friend of the Ethereum space, resident barbecue guy, and part-time substitute music teacher. And I'll put it over to Logic Beach.
Hello, everybody. Logic Beach here, fellow NFT creator. Actually, I also I help people do things in Web3 now. That's my full-time gig. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I guess I could take it next. Leo Glisick here, founder of My Tree Network, which is a project to help decentralize social media. And I also came up with this idea for Guardians of the Ether a while ago, and then it's been a team effort to bring that to fruition. So we'll talk more about that, and I'm excited for it.
I guess that leaves me. I'm Kindle. I am a full stack developer, also with MyTree, and as of this year, a smart contract developer, and I am the developer on this NFT project.
So as we're about to get into what I'm going to call it GOAT. You may or may not. That's what I'm going to do it for sure.
I like it.
I like it.
I am interested in GOAT, and as well as I think other people here are, because there's nothing but service in this project. This is not a project designed for anyone's gain or benefits.
Except for solo stakers.
Except, yeah, that's right. The only benefit to this is empowering solo stakers. And so on one hand, you might say, well, I can't sell this, so it's not worth anything to me. On the other hand, Leo, Kendall, me, none of us have any potential financial benefit from this. That was very important to me at the outset. And I want you to know as a listener that we're sharing this because we think it's good for solo and home stakers, not because we're promoting or for anyone to benefit except for those valuable home stakers. And so with that, Leo, can you tell us what is GOAT?
Thanks, Fizz. Yeah, and that's exactly right. These NFTs are non-transferable by design to make sure that there is no way to monetize them, right? You can't sell them because you can't transfer them. And the way that this really started it was really about 2 years ago that we saw this centralization threat coming to Ethereum, the staking layer, from entities like Lido, where it's not even anyone's fault. It's just the incentives are structured in such a way that it's easier to liquid stake to somebody like Lido than to go and set up, buy your own hardware and set up your own node and do all the work that we've all individually been doing, and we know what it takes. For the extra 5% or 10% or whatever Lido takes of the yield, it's so much easier to just do liquid staking and set it and forget it. And so I was thinking about how can we change the incentive system? Is there an extra incentive we can create for solo stakers or for those operating their own nodes? And I want to be clear, this is going to be available to solo stakers and Rocket Pool node operators. So anyone operating their own node. And how do we create an extra incentive so it makes people say, hey, maybe I do want to go put in that extra that extra effort because I'll get something extra for it. And that's what really gave rise to this project. And there was a Gitcoin round that we participated in. We submitted it there. There's some decent support from the community. We got about $5,000, $5,500 if I recall correctly, in matching. And we used that to run the art contest. So that all that money went to the artists and we picked the winning artist, or the community picked a winning artist. It was put up for a vote. And his name is Zofee, Xofee on Twitter. And that was the winning art theme that we were going to use for the NFTs. And so then it's been a journey to develop this project. It's a passion project. Like you said, nobody is gaining anything from it. We had some other things we had to prioritize over time, but we were able finally to circle back to this and really devote a lot of time on it. And it's Kindle being the main developer and main engineer on this project. And there's a couple other members of the Maitri team as well, but it's really from the Maitri side, kind of a pro bono thing that we're doing. Nobody's benefiting from this. It's a passion project because we really want to support the community, and I feel that this is extremely important to help keep Ethereum decentralized.
Leo, can you give us some context? Who are you? Like, why do you care about solo stakers? Are you a solo staker? Like, how did you start getting involved in this?
Yeah. So I am a solo staker. I've been solo staking since almost the very beginning, maybe like the first or second month that was opened up. So it's something that, again, is just a side passion of mine. I love it, and it's also what got me interested in it, and thinking about how we could, try to avert this issue. But yeah, just to tell you, I guess, to tell you a little bit more about myself, like where I primarily spend my time, and Kindle as well, and the rest of our team, is on Maitri, which is a project to decentralize social media. So it's a lot of value alignment around decentralization, but no direct real overlap with Ethereum staking. Maitri is very aligned with Ethereum. We will be using Ethereum for the blockchain piece, but so we obviously have a vested interest in keeping Ethereum decentralized from that sense. But that's about it.
Can we maybe see the NFT and see the art that you were just talking about?
Okay, so this is on the website, and it's just it's Guardians of etherguardians.xyz, and here we have some examples of the art, and the art really there's a few different pieces to it that I'll talk about, but there's this the theme here. The original name was called Network Watchers. The idea is that we're all watching over the networking and keeping it safe and secure and decentralized. And then the name eventually fell right in with Ether Guardians or Guardians of the Ether, because in the Marvel universe, it was there's this species called the Watchers that actually watch over the universe. So it all kind of tied together, and it's funny because it was the artist Zofee that came up with that independently, while at the same time I was using a Marvel theme to do my Twitter threads
which
on
is
this
funny.
topic.
For months, I've been chatting in private channels about, like, we need a name for solo stakers. Like, I want to call them sentinels or some kind of like these are the people who are safeguarding the network, and they are like these watchers who maintain the network for everyone. And so seeing this project come up, I'm like, wait, that's it. That's a manifestation of this idea of people who are safe or protectors of the network. I love it.
And let's be honest, Stakey mistakes a lot doesn't really roll off the tongue very easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Leo, just to ask some technical questions. So this is a non-transferable NFT that a solo staker can claim. Can you tell me about how often one is claimable? What are the specifics of, like, how I know there are like different tiers or different tell me some more about the technicals.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's two aspects here. One is the upgradability of these NFTs or evolution, and one is the rarity. And so the upgradability side is really the idea of the longer you've been staking. It's kind of like evolving your Pokemon, right? Like, it's like you get one NFT, but the longer you've been staking, the more it evolves. And so the way that that's denoted is, you see how, like, on this image, for example, there's this triangle in the background made up of 3 nodes. And that's the starting point. You start with 3 nodes, which represents the the idea that Ethereum is solving the blockchain trilemma. So we start with the three nodes. If you've been staking it all, you get a triangle, and then from there, and I can talk a bit more about the layers and stuff like that. But from there, it evolves. You can see how in this art you can go to here's 4 nodes. So if you've been staking for more than a year, so if you're in your second year of staking, then you get the 4 nodes, and then in your next year you get 5 nodes and 6 nodes and so on. So and those nodes all get connected now. So the number of nodes is determined by how many years you've been staking, and so you can always keep upgrading it. So if you mint it 1 year and then next year you come back, okay, now I'm still on the white list because I'm still staking. Then you can just upgrade that NFT. It burns that one and gives you the upgraded one. And then there's a rarity component, which has to do with the way these lines connect the nodes. They can either be solid or dashed. And solid means that it's a connection, and dashed means that it was a potential connection, but it wasn't. And this is kind of like a rarity component. It's sort of a dice roll, right? And so the more solid lines you have, the more rare it is. And so for the triangle, for example, to get all 3 lines solid, only 5% of the total population gets all 3 lines solid, which we would call like a perfect roll, right? To borrow a gaming term. So you might get 1 solid line, or 2, or if you're lucky, 1 out of 20, you'll get all 3. But then as it goes higher, it becomes even more rare. To get all solids on 4, well, now there's 6 lines connecting them, so you have to get 6 solid lines, and it grows exponentially. So it gets more and more rare to get a really rare one. So there's a rarity component to just kind of make it playful.
Yeah, and so that's random.
That's right. That's fully random.
Okay. Just to clear. Somebody else.
I could add something about the upgradability. So at this stage, if you've been staking for 1 year, you'll get basically a level 1 NFT, which is the triangle. And if you've been staking for 2 years, and that's like currently the amount of data we have, so you can only be staking for 2 years currently, but then you'll automatically get issued a level 2 NFT. And one feature we have coming up in the future is the ability to upgrade. So as a 3rd year comes in, if you have a level 1, you'll basically be able to burn that level 1 and get a level 2. And if you have a level 2, you'll be able to burn that and get a level 3 instead.
That's right. And just to be clear here on the years, the starting date is the date of the merge, not when staking was actually started. It was because everything before the merge, it's like you were staking, but you weren't actually securing the network. It was still on proof of work, right? So it was September of 2022. That's when we snapped the line. I think September 15th, if I'm not mistaken there. And then another snapshot got taken on September 15th of 2023, and then another one will be taken on in a month, in September 15th, 2024, and so on.
As someone who
I have a gamification. Oh, you go.
As someone who staked like 2 months after Genesis, I'm kind of excited about this because this offers me an opportunity to be an OG because I've never had the Genesis.
Yes,
You
everyone before the merge is the OG. Yes.
You waited 2 months?
I was nervous.
I was hosting a call and jamming my finger like, I gotta get in. I gotta throw my ETH away.
And this is why you have a low digit and I don't.
Yeah. I have a question, kind of a gamification question. So these are non-transferable. If I mint one, I'm going to get one that has this whole 5% chance of getting all of the lines filled in. When I upgrade that the subsequent year, am I risking losing that kind of gem of having all of the lines filled? Is that just part of the game and it is what it is?
Yes and no. So what you'll do is you'll never go down in the number of solid lines. So if you go from 3 solid lines on a triangle, you'll get at least 3 solid lines on the square, but you won't be guaranteed the 6 solid lines, right? So you'll get some...
Essentially, I'm going to need a whole lot of validators to increase my odds of getting solid lines.
No, you can only mint once per deposit address.
I'm going to need a whole lot of deposit addresses. I'm going to have to do this the Coinbase.
You're going to need Time Machine too to go back to the pre-merge.
Well, I can start now. All right, lots of deposit addresses.
Yes.
So I guess the big question, what other than the gamification, the coolness of having it in your wallet, what is the actual use of what is the benefit to the community? Why should I actually consider minting it if it's non-transferable?
Yeah, and that's a question that, it's like there's a menu of options. You can think of this as kind of a thing that we're turning over to the community, and it's up to the community to decide how the community would like to use it. And obviously it's nice to just get the art and having the kind of the status and recognition to be able to show that, hey, I have this NFT and I am staking, or I've been staking for a long time, and I'm helping decentralize Ethereum. But beyond that, if the community wishes to use it for gating into certain community memberships, or gating into certain events, or getting ticket discounts for certain events, we can talk a little bit more about this because it's a more expensive topic, but governance as well around like voting, and whether it's binding or non-binding. It could be non-binding. It's just kind of a sentiment signal type tool. There's a lot of ways that this could be used, and it's really up to the community of how they want to adopt it or how they want to use it.
This might be a naive question. Are these integratable into things like Tally and Snapshot? Would it work with those? Do you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to find out more about those platforms, but these are NFTs on Ethereum, on the Ethereum blockchain. So any platform that can, scan the blockchain and or ping Infura or wherever can utilize that.
I
Or
have
a quick note.
Attestation of some kind. It's a testament to the node operators' possible, deep knowledge based on years of experience. Not that you need to be like a rocket surgeon to run a node, but if you've been able to keep it online and healthy for a number of years, it might be a simple attestation to show, that maybe you're more legit, or your opinion may matter more in a forum or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet or not, but who did the art for these? Who ended up being voted as the artist?
Yeah, so we did talk about it. His name is Zofi.
Okay, I recognize that name.
Yeah, he's been doing some cool art projects. But he was the one that came up with these, and that's what the community selected.
I think
we had some awesome art submissions, but he was the winning one.
How many pupils do we get? I see at least 6. I love them, by the way. I think they're great.
The pupils are random.
Yeah.
And I believe there's definitely more than 6. I believe there's something like 18 different ones. Although
And do those change?
that's counting.
Like when you upgrade or when you stake for longer and you get those extra nodes, does the pupil stay the same?
It's a reroll. You get a new,
Oh,
you generate a new
okay,
art. Yeah.
okay.
And the only thing I'll say is that if you get the Ethereum pupil only comes with the perfect roll. So you have to get a perfect roll to get the Ethereum pupil. But yeah.
The question of kind of the evolution of the NFT when you upgraded it is actually something we still have an opportunity to ideate on, because we haven't yet implemented the burn and upgrade functionality. So I think it would be interesting to have some discussions around should those pupils maybe remain the same. That might be a neat feature.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is something that we could potentially still affect.
Layer view you're currently showing is really cool too. It's fascinating.
Yeah, this is kind of how the art comes together, and you can have 68 billion different combinations just using all these layers. So the math gets kind of mind-boggling.
It's funny, like no one wants the 67,999,999,999,999. Everyone wants like the rarest one. Like, just give me the rarest one.
Leo, who is eligible to claim? Like, I know you said solo stakers and rocket pool home operators, but how is that determined? And I know some people have already been in the eStaker Discord asking you, like, I run a solo node, but I'm not eligible. So if somebody is in that position, what can they do? And what do they need to look at to make sure that they're eligible?
Yes. Okay. So great question. Thank you for that. And like I mentioned, the eligibility, you have to either be a solo staker or a rocket pool node operator, and you have to be on a whitelist. That's based on snapshot dates, right? So this one, like I said earlier, the first snapshot was taken on September 15, 2022, and then the next one on 1 year later on the anniversary, and so on. And we'll do another one this year. That snapshot and that list was then maintained by GLC Staked, and the stake cat team. So we take the list from them and we use that for the whitelist. It's not perfect sometimes because there are some issues sometimes that comes up with the way that Ethers can, for example, tag certain addresses, and it makes their system think that it's like a Coinbase address instead of a Solo Staker. So I've had one instance particularly with an individual who was like, no, here's my address. Look, you can look at it, and we can look at it on chain, and it should be on the list, but it wasn't. So we can go manually append those types of cases. And so there's a channel in the Discord server for the Staker Discord server where you can reach out to us and GLC Staked, and we can look into these as they arise and correct for these, because we can always manually investigate any one address to see should it have been on there.
I would say if you are legitimately a home staker or a solo staker in some way, you really should advocate for yourself when these kind of projects come out, because you don't know what it's going to be in 10 years. Like, I don't know if GOAT will be here in 10 years, but I also don't know if it's going to be like a very valuable, or like whether it's relied upon. And it's important when it starts. A lot of people will be like, well, there's no money in this, so I'm just going to let this one go. But you really should advocate for yourself and go to the Discord and get on this list if you deserve to be on it and you've somehow been overlooked. Because it's not spiteful. It's just a thing that happens sometimes.
I wonder if
exactly.
there's a portion of the staking community that's engaged through Stakers Union, and I wonder if you could add some eligibility through the Stakers Union. So another question, does it make my validator index public? So am I doxing my validator index to my public persona by claiming it?
So claiming it, no, because all claiming it does is it mints the NFT to that same address. That address is already tied to that validator publicly. And now all that somebody can see publicly is that whoever owns that address now also minted the NFT that clearly they were eligible for, because that was already public. So now when you go to use that NFT in the manner which you use it, you might end up doxing that address, right? Because it's now in that address and you can't move it somewhere else. So now if you say, if you want to go show your friend, hey, I'm a staker, look, I have an NFT and here's the address. Well, now you've revealed that, right? So there's a couple of things that can be done there. I think ideal solution is some kind of a ZK snark to be able to prove that you own an address with this NFT in it without revealing what the address is. We probably don't have the bandwidth on our team to be able to do that, but I would encourage anyone out there who would like to put that together. That would be a big benefit to this project. And that way you could preserve your privacy while still be able to use the NFT. The other thing that is on our roadmap for this project is to be able to mint to a different address. That does have a privacy assumption regarding our backend server. So our backend server will know that those two addresses are tied, but it's not going to be public on the blockchain anywhere. And so you'll be able to say, look, I own here's my deposit address A, which is on the whitelist, but I want you to mint to address B, and it would and all you'll be able to see on the blockchain is that it was minted to address B, but not that the address B was ever tied to address A. So that's something we want to add on the roadmap in the future.
I'm kind of seeing this long term, and it's just kind of dawned on me. Like, let's say that I'm staking right now, and let's say that I do it for 5 or 8 years, but then I need that ETH, and I sell my validator, and like I'm out of staking for it. It's because ETH is 100K, and like I'm just there. The benefit to that address and that key that you can sign will show forever that you were a validator for that number of years. Like you've done that length of service. It's kind of like a service, a years of service badge kind of thing, which
that's right. That's right.
I'm only thinking of it as like currently, like I plan to validate forever, but it's so valuable in the future to have this address that says, hey, look, I was a validator for 10 years. So this is my credibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do we want to demo it?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to go to claim.etherguardians.xyz, and I'm going to, so this is the claim page.
Validators laying around that haven't claimed it yet?
No. This is on the testnet.
Okay.
Because I already did the production test with mine. I can't do it again, obviously. So I'm going to demo it on the test net, but we will flip this over to
Testnet whale.
production. But by the time people are watching this, so let's do this.
Oh, I see. The live
Right.
side is on testnet right now, but you're going to convert it. Got it. Got it.
Exactly. And so I've connected my wallet, and I'm going to click mint, and I'm going to do the signature on MetaMask, and then I'm going to pay the gas fees, which are really low in Sepolia, and doesn't really matter because it's Sepolia ETH, not real ETH. And there we go. Your NFT has been minted successfully. I hit OK, and here's the NFT that I got.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Only one solid line, or is that two solid lines?
Yeah, I think it's two.
I think
Looks
it's
like
two,
to
but
me.
it's it's a test net. It doesn't. It would have sucked if it was a
Ah.
perfect roll. I was like, no, not on the test net.
I'm really excited
Very
to,
cool.
to see my role. I've been
Yeah.
staking almost as long as Superfizz. I think still that's only 4 nodes at this point.
It'll only be 4
It's like-
nodes.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Most
only
you can-
it's only going to be 2 because it only starts at the merge.
3 and then
No, but
okay.
3 is the starting point. 3 is the starting
Oh.
count.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Would it make sense to wait a month to September 15th to mint? Is there any value to that?
If you mint now, then you can just upgrade on September 15th.
Okay.
And we hope to have it's like September 15th is going to be a snapshot date, but it's going to take some time for the StakeCat
yeah.
team to now produce that into the whitelist addresses. It's going to take us some time to do the things we need to do on our end. So it won't be exactly on September 15th that you'll be able to claim. It might be like a couple months after that. So,
Is there
but that will be
any
a snapshot date.
any kind of paperwork trail that says you've done X number of upgrades, or is that just assumed with the number of connections you have?
It's assumed with the number of connections. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there actually will be a record of that on the blockchain itself. Whether or not we do anything with that is another question.
It seems like
That's
a
right.
good like
In that way.
long-term engagement metric. Like someone who comes year after year to upgrade is also someone who's committed in some way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So does this show up on something like I don't know what the popular browsers are. I don't want to say the one that comes to mind. The NFT explorers, like OpenSea.
It
Does
should.
still say OpenSea. Okay.
Yeah. It's yeah.
What do kids use these days? I'm out of the loop.
I have stopped messing around with NFTs. I don't know anymore. I still use OpenSea when I am
Say,
messing with an
you-
NFT.
I'm all
You and
in on
everyone else on the planet,
MySpace.
right?
Right.
MySpace, yeah.
MySpace NFT. Let's go.
The POAP
Yeah,
app.
So we've kind of been through it. We know what it is. We know
Mhm.
how to upgrade it. We know how to claim it. We know like the value in having the badge of honor. But I think that the big underlying purpose here is giving some kind of governance value. Can you give us like your dream vision for what governance value it might bring?
Sorry, you got me drinking water there, but yeah. No, I think to me, I share that sentiment. That is kind of the big unlock that this could be, because it's exactly what JT was, I believe it was JT earlier, hinting at, which is not only do we know who is staking, but how long they've been staking. And so now you can think about using, anyone with an NFT can cast a vote, and it can be a non-binding vote or a binding vote, and it can be within the staker community, or it can be used to signal something to the broader Ethereum community. And those votes could be weighted by how long you've been staking. So you could say like, well, people who have been staking for, who have been doing it for 2 years or 3 years have more of a weight. We should pay attention to them more than somebody who's just been doing it for 1 year. And you can just choose those weights over time and kind of balance them out. But it's a really interesting use case. It's something that after this project was already underway, on the MyTree side, we've been expanding on with one thing that we're building on the MyTree side is called community graphs, which is a way of mapping, similar to how social graphs, we map one-to-one relationships. With community graphs, we map group memberships, and not just who's a member of which group, but to what extent they are a member. And then then that can be used by different groups to improve their governance, because people who are more central to a certain group or a community are can have more of a vote in the decision making, or even who should be allowed into that group, because they can be better stewards of the ethos and the culture of that community. And so this kind of also inspired some of the ideas there that we're building on. But and by the way, that's a tool that it's very early on right now. We just launched our alpha we're at Zoo Village, Georgia, at Zulu, Georgia. We're working with the Zulu software team on incorporating this, and we're supporting a lot of the Zulu pop-up events. But as this matures a little bit, that's a tool that we can make available as well for the ETHStaker community to use in a number of ways. And these NFTs can be incorporated into these membership levels. So it's like it gives you membership levels based on how long you've been staking, and there can be other things that also go into those membership levels, whether people can be attesting for one another and so on, and those things can be combined in a number of ways to create even more refinements to a governance structure. But this is stuff that I think is really interesting to experiment with, and any kind of governance experiment should always be low stakes. It should always start out with, let's make some decisions that don't really matter. Like what the theme of the next song is, the daily song is, or something like that.
Yeah.
But over time, kind of get a feel for like, hey, do we like this thing? Do we like the way it's helping us make decisions and using it more seriously?
I really see a value in this also as like proof of on-chain personhood. I'm thinking of Gitcoin Passport with Kyle Weiss. Like, this is a very strong indicator of individual personhood. That would be a really great integration. So I know, Kyle, you're watching. So this is probably, it's a really valuable way to indicate people who have a deep interest and investment in the chain.
That's exactly right. And another use case that we didn't cover earlier, but it's become more prominent this year, is airdrops, right? And where a lot of airdrops have been looking for a way to give back to the Ethereum community, especially the ETHStaker community. And this is something they could use then as well for the airdrops. But yeah, you're absolutely right. This could be used for a pretty strong Sybil resistance kind of signal.
That was actually the first thing, not airdrops, but governance, like communities being able to allow only ETH stakers to vote on something. That's the first thing I thought of when I looked through like the short description of what this NFT was. And yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it'd be cool to just, imagine, I imagine it would be like helpful to the core devs community if they, for example, they had a list of EIPs, and it's like, hey, what does the staker community think how these should be prioritized as a signal? It's like it's not binding, but it gives us a signal from a very core constituency that they care about. Like let's aggregate this community believes in and how they're viewing some of this stuff. That could be really helpful for them.
Absolutely, especially because I know there are several groups in Ethereum who love to speak on behalf of solo stakers, even though they're not solo stakers.
Right.
We're speaking for the interest of the little guy as the big guy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as my mini pool works, I'm happy. As long as I can claim this with Rocket Pool mini pool.
All right. I feel like we've kind of hit everything we wanted to hit. Any other details or ideas? All right. Thanks.
Nothing else
Go
for
ahead.
mine. Oh no,
Thanks.
nothing else for mine. Thank you guys so much for having us on, and always happy to answer additional questions. But I'm really excited to get this across the finish line and then keep improving it from there.
I got one thing. When should we as ETH stakers expect to be able to mint this?
Well, that is as soon as we actually do the post video editing and we actually do the launch. The minute we do the launch, we can flip this to production and people will be able to mint. So what we want to tell people is they can mint as soon as they watch this.
All right. Thanks again, Leo Kendall, for sharing the GOAT project. Thanks, Logic Beach and JT Nickel, for hanging out with us. Thanks, Nixo, for co-hosting. We're really excited about the GOAT project. And we know it's not going to be an atomic bomb in Ethereum. It's going to be a long-term, steady project that will grow over time. So I look forward to your participation, and take care, everyone.
Hey, you don't have to be Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, or Simone Biles. You too can be a goat.
I love that.
That was good.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Fizz, and everybody.
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.